Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. It's with profound sadness that I rise today to ask that the Senate adjourn in memory of a former staffer of the Senate, a former district staffer, Anna Damiani, a great leader in San Francisco's LGBTQ community, and someone who worked in the district office for Senator Mark Leno, for his entire 14 years in the legislature, first in the Assembly and then in the Senate, and before that for Assembly Member Kevin Shelley. Anna called San Francisco home for about 40 years. She was a key part of our community for some very, very difficult and turbulent times in San Francisco throughout the worst of our HIV/AIDS crisis, through all of the fights around LGBTQ civil rights, marriage equality, and so many uplifting moments for our community. Anna was always there. She worked for many years at Pacific Bell as a technician, an operator, and as a shop steward for the Communication Workers of America. Anna was what my mother would call a joiner. She could not pass up an opportunity to serve when service was necessary. She spent many, many years on the board of the Alice B. Toklas LGBTQ Democratic Club, which is how I got to know Anna more than 20 years ago. She was a core member of the club and just did amazing, amazing work in our community in terms of the Democratic Party and grassroots LGBTQ political activism. She also served as board president of the Golden Gate Business Association, which is our business association for LGBTQ-owned small businesses. She held leadership positions in the Bay Area Career Women, the UCSF Women's Health Patient Advisory Committee, San Francisco Pride, and the Golden Gate Flyers. Anna was, I'll be honest, a personal friend of mine. I will also say that she was incredibly close with Senator Leno, and this is a huge loss for my predecessor. She was someone who was very well known in the community. She always dressed in purple. That was her trademark, and so she was the purple lady walking down the street or going down the street in a wheelchair. And she also always had in her pocket treats for dogs. And so the dogs knew that she was the treat lady, and they would be very happy when they would see her. And these sort of little things, these touches, are what make people so special in so many ways in our community. And Anna was, in addition to her great leadership, just one of these wonderful people in the community that people looked forward to seeing. She had incredible energy. Anna struggled with health issues for many, many, many years. But despite all of those health issues, she was always still involved. She was always still working. After Senator Leno left this body, she ultimately went to work for the San Francisco International Airport. She worked throughout the pandemic. I would see her in the Castro. She lived in Noe Valley, and she's had significant mobility problems. And she would always get from the Noe Valley to the Castro, and if you know that area, there's a huge hill in between. I never quite understood how she got around, but she did. She was just a determined, positive energy kind of person who was never going to let life get her down. She passed on Friday evening, a major surprise and just tragedy for so many people in our community. And Anna, we love you, we miss you, rest in peace.
Senator Laird on this item.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I think it's, I rise also to adjourn in Anna's memory, and it is hard to add to what the senator just said, because I served in the same class with Assemblymember Leno, did a lot of things in San Francisco, was very close to Anna. But as was just said, she was a resident of the Noe Valley, as was my crazy brother, who was a neighbor, and he was nursing a cow back to health from his ranch and shuttling it back and forth from the Capay Valley to the Noy Valley. And I get a text from Anna that plays on what was just said, because my brother was walking a cow on a leash down 24th Street and ran into Anna, and she said, "I have treats for dogs, but I can't deal with this." And she was standing next to him when I'm sure some of the people that represent agricultural districts, she was standing next to him when somebody walked up to him and said, "What kind of dog is that?" And so she had this sense of humor that went completely with everything else, and I will really miss her, appreciate the tribute to her, and rise to adjourn in her memory as well.